When we think of elves in The Lord of the Rings, we almost immediately think of absolute perfection. They are faster, stronger, wiser, and far more beautiful than mortal men. But most importantly, they are immortal. They do not get sick, they do not die of old age, and they can live for thousands upon thousands of years without aging a single day. However, there is a deep and profound secret that the movies only briefly touch upon. Elven immortality in J.R.R. Tolkien's universe is not a superpower. In fact, it is their greatest tragedy. And strictly speaking, the way we usually understand the word immortality is entirely wrong when it comes to Tolkien's world. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we are diving deep into the intricate and fascinating lore of Middle-earth to answer a fundamental question. Why are elves immortal? How does their lifespan actually work in the grand scheme of things? And why do they eventually grow to envy the very beings who are cursed to die? Grab your Lember's bread, get comfortable, and let's explore the beautiful, tragic reality of the elves. To truly understand why elves live forever, we have to go all the way back to the very beginning of time. We must look long before the Dark Lord Sauron rose to power. Before the rings of power were forged, and before Middle-earth was even a physical place. In Tolkien's mythology, the universe was created by a supreme, omnipotent being named Eru Ilvatar. When Eru created the world, which is known as Arda, he had two great, distinct creations in mind, the elves and men. The elves awoke first, stepping into the world under a sky filled with stars, long before the sun and the moon were even made. Because of this early awakening, they are forever known as the firstborn. Men awoke much later in the history of the world, and they are referred to as the followers. When Eru created these two races, he gave them completely different fates. And it all comes down to how their souls are fundamentally connected to the earth itself. In Tolkien's lore, a person is made of two distinct parts, the Hra, which is the physical body, and the Fua, which is the soul or spirit. For elves, their Fua is permanently and irrevocably bound to Arda. As long as the earth exists, the elves must exist with it. Their souls and the physical world are tied together in an eternal, unbreakable knot. That is the true source of their immortality. They literally cannot leave the physical universe. Men, on the other hand, are just visitors. Their souls are not permanently bound to the earth. When men die, their souls leave the universe entirely, traveling to a place that even the Valar, the angelic gods of Middle-earth, do not know. Now, wait a minute. You might be thinking, if elves are immortal, how come we see them dying in massive battles throughout the movies and books? This is where Tolkien's specific definition of immortality gets incredibly fascinating. Elves can be killed by weapons, by violence, by poison, or even by extreme grief and deep depression. Their physical bodies, the Ra, are flesh and blood and can absolutely be destroyed. But remember the rule of their creation, their soul, the Fua, is trapped in the universe. It cannot leave. So, what exactly happens when an elf is killed in battle? When an elf's physical body is destroyed, their soul travels across the Great Sea to Valinor, the Undying Lands, specifically to a place called the Halls of Mandos. Mandos is the judge of the dead in elven lore. In these vast, silent halls, the elven soul waits. They are given time to reflect on their past life, their actions, their triumphs, and their mistakes. And after a certain period of time, which can sometimes be years and sometimes thousands of centuries depending on their deeds, they can be reincarnated. They are granted a new physical body identical to their old one, and they continue living in the Undying Lands. A famous example of this process is Glorfindel. In the first age of Middle-earth, he died an incredibly epic death fighting a fiery Balrog to protect his fleeing people. His physical body was broken, and his soul went to the halls of Mandos. But because of his heroic sacrifice, he was eventually resurrected, given a new body, and actually sent back to Middle-earth to help fight against Sauron. In the original books, Glorfindel is actually the powerful elf who saves Frodo from the Ringwraiths at the river, not Arwen. So, for an elf, death is not a final ending. It is merely a temporary separation of the body and the soul. They are truly immortal, but that certainly does not mean they are invincible. Living forever and getting a second chance at life sounds like an amazing deal, right? But Tolkien designed elven immortality to be a heavy, sorrowful burden. Because the elves are intimately tied to the world, they are forced to watch everything around them decay and change. Imagine living for 5,000 years, you watch mighty empires rise to glory and fall into ruin. You watch mountains slowly crumble. You watch the mortal friends you made grow old, wither, and die while you have not aged a single second. It is an existence characterized by endless grief, deep nostalgia, and a constant longing for the past. This is exactly why elves in The Lord of the Rings are almost always portrayed as sad, serious, and melancholic. They carry the immense weight of thousands of years of memories on their shoulders. Even worse than the sorrow of memory is the physical concept of fading. As the ages of the world pass, the innate magical energy of Middle-earth slowly drains away. But the elven soul, the Fua, burns incredibly bright and strong. Over millennia, their powerful, unchanging soul slowly begins to consume their physical, changing body. If an elf stays in the mortal lands of Middle-earth for too long, their body will eventually be entirely consumed by their spirit. They will become transparent and fade away completely, leaving them as invisible, wandering spirits who can no longer interact with the physical world. To stop this terrible fading process, they must take the white ships and sail west across the sea to Valinor, the undying lands where the magic of the world is preserved and they can live in peace. When you see elves leaving Middle-earth in the movies, they aren't sailing away just for a vacation. They are fleeing to survive. This brings us to a beautiful philosophical contrast that Tolkien wove into his universe, humanity. In the lore of Middle-earth, death is not originally meant to be a punishment or a curse for humanity. Eru Ilvatar explicitly calls death the gift of men, because men have such a short, fleeting time on Earth. They are driven to achieve great things. They are passionate, they build, they change, they adapt, and they shape the future. The elves are bound to the past, stuck in an endless loop of memory and preservation. But men are the true architects of the future precisely because they know their time is limited. Eventually, as the world grows older and heavier with history, the elves actually begin to deeply envy men. The elves are trapped in a decaying world until the very end of time itself. Men, however, get to leave. They are eventually free from the sorrow and the weariness of the physical world. Immortality in Tolkien's world is, in essence, a beautiful golden cage. It grants infinite wisdom, incredible skill, and unmatched grace, but it comes at the terrible cost of eternal weariness. So, the next time you sit down to watch The Lord of the Rings and you see Lord Elrond looking utterly exhausted, or you see Lady Galadriel looking wistfully and sadly into the distance, you will finally know why. They aren't just old. They are carrying the entire heavy history of the world on their shoulders, and they literally cannot put it down. What do you guys think about this? If you had the choice, would you choose the elven immortality, living forever but being forced to watch everything you love slowly turn to dust? Or would you accept the gift of men and embrace a short but impactful life? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the rich lore of Middle-earth, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. We just finished our Harry Potter breakdown, and there is a lot more cinematic and lore analysis coming your way very soon. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.